Hey guys, today in SAO Integral Factor, we are going to test the Diva of Hope Yuna skill. So this skill has two skills effect in there. The first one is the Song of Hope, which is while the buff attack plus is effective, attack will get 16%. And the second one is the Song of Serenity that recovers HP 260 of yourself when the switch is activated. We'll focus more on the first skill there and see how what kind of attack buff really is going to be affecting this. So for this test, we are going to show you using these two skills that we have right now in here on skill 1 and skill 2. The first one is going to give a buff with the additional damage, and the second one is going to give a buff with the attack. And we are going to use these two sets. The first one have these massive reclines, and the second one is using the Diva of Hope skills that we are going to test there. And both have the same attack power, which is the 4853, as you can see in there. And we are going to compare the attack that got increased when we are using the buff from these two skills. We will show you with what kind of skills are considered the attack plus that will trigger the skills and which one does not. Okay, so our attack now is showing at 4826 with this one set, and the second set here is going to show me the same attack, which is at 4826 as well. So the difference between these two sets is that this one is the one that doesn't use the Yuna skill. Now if I use the Argo buff there, now my attack becomes 5089. But if I switch to a different set, then this one is the one that have the Yuna skill, and my attack becomes 5531, so that's quite a dramatic increase just from switching the passive skills to Yuna skills. And that's the Argo skill that increased the attack. As you can see there, I have the attack buff showing up on the top of my screen. And now that the buff is gone, my attack is going back to 4826. I'm going to test it using the Celica skill. Now it has that buff that's similar to what we have with the Argo. And if we take a look into the stats, it stays at 4826. So this skill, even though it's showing the same attack buff, but it's not triggering the Yuna skills. So rather than seeing me testing all different passive, I'm just going to tell you what skill will trigger the effect on the Yuna skills. First one is this Matter Red Sanya skill. It has a buff that will give us an attack increase when we use a switch, and the attacks will stack with 0.2% per stack. So this skill will trigger the Yuna skills. Similarly with this active skills that will give an attack buff stack onto the party, this will also trigger the Yuna skills effect. There are similar skills that will give us a stacking attack, but instead of a percentage in attack increase, it will give us a base attack increase. So that kind of skills will also trigger the effect from the Yuna skills. And of course the skills from the normal buff skills, just like the Argo skill that we showed earlier, that kind of skills also trigger the Yuna skills. Skill is not the only thing that will trigger the effect from the Yuna passive there. The effect can also be triggered by using items. This Alice Land cookie is a great example on the item that will trigger the Yuna skills, because this one will give a players an attack and defense buff by 50 for 3 minutes. So the attack buff there is the one that will trigger the Yuna skills. Other than that, this Serpent Mark Rice Cracker also going to trigger the Yuna skills effect, because this item also give an attack increase, even though now this is a percentage attack as opposed of the base attack, just like the Alice Land cookies. The weapon proficiency skills is also another thing that will be able to trigger the effect from that Yuna passive skills. So for example, this Sword's Blow, which will add a defense and attack by 5% after switch is equipped. This thing will have a short duration, I think only 5 seconds, and during that 5 seconds the skill will also get triggered. Also this Crescent Moon from the bow weapon proficiency skills, I don't have this one unlock yet, and I'm not going to use my precious realist crystal L, but I believe this skill will also trigger the effect from that Yuna skills. Yeah, once again, I don't have this unlocked, but if you guys see it different otherwise, just let me know in the comment below and we can discuss about it. Now let's see the skills that will not trigger this effect. This one wish Sachi that will give a buff that increase the switch damage. This skill is not going to trigger the Yuna skill effect, even though again it's showing a similar buff to attack increase buff, which with that sword icon there. It's this, so this skill is going to be similar to the Silica skill that we see earlier. Also the mismatch Silica skills, that thing will not trigger the effect for the Yuna skills. And this weapon proficiency skill from the spear dance, that will increase the attack by 24% after stepping. This thing also does not does not trigger the effect from the Yuna skills, even though it's very similar to the sword weapon proficiency skills that we see earlier. Yeah, it's just a different activation sequence. Okay, that's all I can show you for the skill one. Now let's take a look into the second skill effect. So this thing I already covered a similar test on this one on my healing build on the previous videos. So you can see how the skill effect works in there, or otherwise, yeah, again I will just cover it very briefly in here to see how the healing works. So it says that it can give us a heal when we are using a switch. So I'm just filling up my switch gauge there, and then I'll show you that if I just hit one monsters in here with the switch, it will give me a heal of 260. But the skills actually work with how many monsters we are hitting with the skills. So if we equip a multi-hit skills, or if the skills that will hit multiple enemies on the switch, when we are using the switch, it will give us more heal according to how many monsters we are hitting with our switch. I will give some demonstration in here. So we have two monsters here that's still alive now, and if I use the switch and hit both monsters all at once, it will give me higher healing. So there you go, so it heals 520, so it doubles from what we've seen before. This skill is good for farming, so that when we are being attacked by multiple enemies, then we'll get more healings as we hit more enemies with our switch. So that's it for the video. Please don't forget to leave a like, share and subscribe to my channel if you have not done so. And I will see you in the next SAO Integral Factor content. Bye now!